Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? Come on and sit down because today we're talking about weight loss. I know. Rich coming from me, the fattest man on the internet. I gotta really watch out what I say in these videos. Ever since the cyclist video, it's been kind of weird. You see a lot more fat hate towards me, which is funny. I do laugh at a lot of the fat hate. I gotta realize that with these commentary videos, these joking commentary videos with talking puppets and sets and colors, that people take what I say very seriously. So I just want to go into this video saying that if you're fat, I hope you burn in hell, you disgusting fat slob. And I'll be right there with you. We say just kidding? The world as we know it is getting fatter. This has been an epidemic since I was a child, and it's been an epidemic, I feel, ever since we won the Second World War. There's sugar, and there's cigarettes, there's soda pops, there's all kinds of things. Life is becoming so incredibly easy that you don't have to tow the land with a donkey. I got donkeys. I don't tow the land. I'm extremely out of shape, and it affects my moods. But people are also wanting to be skinny. And I think that people want to be skinny. People don't want to be buff. I want to get that out there too. I think there's a lot of people who aim to be buff or bodybuilders or, they want that six pack. I think people just want to fit into a large shirt. An extra large. I'd kill to fit into an extra large shirt, dude. My fat ass is pushing the 4XLs, quads. I'm in quads. And we as a society will do anything we can to lose weight besides working out and just eating healthy. I mean, come on, dude. You have a long day at the job. Last thing I want to do is come home and eat grilled chicken and broccoli. People dream for the weekends where they get to drink beer and other kinds of alcohol and order pizzas and eat burgers and fries and all the good stuff that scientists have made in labs to change our taste palates to make us addicted. It's awesome. Just give me a miracle drug. Let me eat a tapeworm and have it live in my body. I don't care. Rent's cheap, dude. Come on in, snuggle and live with me forever, tapeworm. Eat all the bad stuff. I don't want to go to Planet Fitness, dude. Nobody wants to go to Planet Fitness. I get it, the look alarm. How much protein are you eating? I don't care. Give me the miracle drugs. And ladies and gentlemen, in our day and age right now, one drug stands above the rest. One remedy seems to be working. I don't understand. It's become a huge meme. And that, my friends, of course, I am talking about Ozempic. Which also, I just want to say, sounds like a fucking Greek hero. Hercules, Jason and the Argonauts, Ozempic. And what's weird is that Ozempic is, it's not like it's a new drug. It's been around for a long time. 2 or 3 years, people basically, they plug it into their body like a GTA San Andreas cheat code. And now everybody's just skinny as shit. But is there side effects? Is this drug too good to be true? By the end of this video, you will find out whether or not Papa Meat will be on Ozempic if I can get my hands on it, because they're like blood diamonds. They're like that gem in Uncut Gem. They're very rare now. And people that need it can't really get it because there's a lot of fat men and women out there who just want to go to Kohl's and actually be able to buy something. Who am I kidding, Kohl's? They're like, we have 8XL. Ozempic has become the king of weight loss drugs and has been heralded as the miracle weight drug we've been waiting for. Much like Christ, this is the thing that's rising us all out of the ashes. This is what's giving us salvation. And let me tell you, I think people are ditching Christ and they're praying to Ozempic right now. Tons of influencers and actors in Hollywood are trying to get their fat, grubby hands on the drug because it actually works. I've seen articles before in the past that are like, yeah, B12. You need fish oil. I remember whenever Jonah Hill, whenever he lost all his weight, they're like, the secret was fish oil. He just had fish oil, not taking into consideration that he probably worked his ass off to lose the weight or whatever. But this is one of the things where people are just like, seriously. It feels like a Cronenberg film, doesn't it? You just and it just ooze out all your fat. It's like a magical injection that heavily suppresses your appetite when inserted into your body. Ozempic or semaglutide. It's going to the doctor and be like, can I get some Ozempic? It feels so much better than, can I get semaglutide? Sounds like a cleaning product or something, doesn't it? You want to put bleach in you? You want Febreze or Clorox? Ozempic or semaglutide was originally a type 2 diabetes medication created in 2017 by Novo Nordisk, a Danish pharmaceutical company. That's how you know it's good. I only know about cheese Danishes. Would you ever go to Denmark?
I would.
Me either. It mimics the natural GLP-1 hormone, which slows down the transfer of food down the stomach and intestines, thus making people feel more full for a longer period of time. Whenever you eat the 4 cheeseburgers, you actually feel like you ate 4 cheeseburgers. Instead, you're just like, you're probably going to Taco Bell. Get some Diablo sauce. Really get this out of me. It also produced more insulin during periods of high blood sugar, as well as reducing the amount of sugar released by the liver. The diabetic drug. Surprisingly, Nick, I'm not diabetic. I've asked, I've tested, I've gone to the doctor and been like, come on. Also, I don't have sleep apnea.
I'm prone to both.
Isn't that just a twist of fate, isn't it? Good Lord. In 2021, however, a new brand of medication was released by Novo Nordisk called Wegovy. My boy, he's like, it's like DMT. It's blessed by Indians. Focusing more on weight loss with improved results. This changed the game as far as weight loss drugs are concerned. So if something's called Wegovy and I put it in my system, I better be seeing some fucking spirits, dude. Here, you're supposed to, you don't inject it, you smoke it out of this pipe. Do I look like a frog? By 2022, the astonishing effects of the drugs were being spread on social media, gaining tons of traction and free publicity. A 1-month supply of Ozempic cost $936 without insurance.
That's not actually that bad.
All right, Richie Rich.
I thought it was more.
All right, man. Hey, that's right. I forgot Nick's desk is made of pure gold. He brought it in. I was like, motherfucker need to start paying me. Good Lord. But with insurance, prices can drop down to around $25 depending on your coverage.
Okay, that's much better.
Yeah, well, did the United Healthcare guy need to get killed with those prices? Luigi, no! Ozempic has skyrocketed in popularity as a method of weight loss to the point where people who actually need it to manage their insulin levels are struggling to get a hold of it. Well, you're in the pig trough now. Seriously, those fatties are. Some guy's like, get out of my way. And just like any drug, there are bound to be side effects to varying severities. Some old dickheads walking down the. It's like, you might want Claritin if you. And at the very end of the commercial, always it's like, diarrhea. You might die. 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 Every drug, no matter what you take, has some kind of side effects to some people. But the common side effects of Ozempic include diarrhea. I love the word diarrhea. I always want to say diarrhea the same way they say chia pet. You know, the chia. I want to say diarrhea. You don't need, we can cut that. Diarrhea, vomiting, stomach pain, belching, and heartburn. I love the word belching. Those are the more tame side effects. But some of the more severe side effects of Ozempic are increased risk of thyroid tumors and thyroid cancer. A little more worse than burping. Pancreatitis. I almost said pancreatitis.
Pancreatitis.
I just said it perfectly. Hypoglycemia, gallbladder complications, and kidney failure. From what I've seen, it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze is what it's turning me. You're gonna turn into an amphibious creature that knows kung fu and you order pizzas to the sewer.
Ninja pizza!
You might be that, all right? Or you might just burp a little bit. I don't know, you just roll the dice. Are you gambling, man? You a Vegas boy? And these are just the well-known side effects that the pharmacies have to put on the box, all right? Who knows what they're not putting on the box? Gives you a rat tail? Leave that off. There are a lot of other unexpected side effects coming out that make it very obvious that you're on Ozempic. It's like I see this a lot on social media now, which also, here's the thing. Just want to put this out there, all right? Even if you are on Ozempic and you lose weight, good for you, dude. I'd say do anything you can to feel as good as you can. But also, don't go into the comment section of a 16-year-old boy or girl who's like before, and everyone's like, oh, that. And then it's like a year later and they've lost like a bunch of weight and they look great and people are just like, Ozempic, question mark? You little envious. It's like some kid who's just like, I don't know, I ate chicken and broccoli and I went to the gym 3 times a week. Oh yeah, whatever, mutant. Hills have eyes much. But there are becoming some apparent side effects and road signs that might give way that you are on Ozempic. And that could be a pro or negative depending on how you want to swing it, but let's talk about some of them. 1, the Ozempic face. Give me an Ozempic face. Feel great? Feel better? Ozempic face is the rapid weight loss in the face, resulting in sagging skin, sunken cheeks, darkened circles around the eyes, and more.
What's up? Today is day 3 of Ozempic.
You look like Nosferatu. Well, first off, the dude from the Kardashians, he looks kind of rough. But John Goodman and Sharon Osbourne, it's like they're 150 years old. Like, also, John Goodman's been 600 pounds all of his life. Yeah, he's gonna be saggy. Is that Jessica Simpson?
I have no idea.
I think that's Jessica. I have no idea. That's Jessica Simpson. My God. I remember I had a Jessica Simpson Dukes of Hazzard poster when I was younger. Daisy Dukes. Her Ozempic ass is hanging out of the video. Because next up we have the Ozempic butt is another indicator. Sure, your face, you might be older. You can get away with having the saggy skin and the Crypt Keeper eyes and all that stuff. Another similar side effect where loose skin is found on the buttocks after rapid weight loss. After you lose a lot of weight, there's a lot of loose skin around the butt area. What doctors refer to as a flat amorphous backside. That's a doctor-approved statement.
Like it's amorphous.
What does amorphous mean?
I don't think it has a shape.
Your backside, which was used to be plump and was full of cellulite before, is now amorphous. There's no direct shape that we can correlate with your backside. It's just a great way to say freak, isn't it? This video is sponsored by our partners at Factor. I have been eating nothing but ramen for the past month. Thanks, Japan. Every night I go to bed praying to eat something other than noodles and broth. Thanks, Japan. Thankfully, I'm back home in America, and I have Factor. Factor has delicious, ready-to-eat meals that are delivered right to your door. In just 2 minutes, you can heat, eat, and enjoy. Plus, Factor lets you eat the way you want, whether you need Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or vegan dishes. And if you enjoy the gourmet side of life, Factor now has Gourmet Plus meals that include ingredients such as broccolini, salmon, and truffle butter. They also have a surf and turf meal option with shrimp and filet mignon. With over 35 options to choose from each week, you are sure to find something you like. Each meal is chef-crafted and dietitian approved. And the best part of Factor is that there is no prep work, no standing in grocery store lines, and virtually no cleanup. Just a little bit. You ain't gotta clean the fork off. You gotta throw the stuff away. We're gonna do let maggots grow. What are you, a fucking ape? Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use promo code 50PAPAMEAT to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50PAPAMEAT at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video, and back to the video. Also, there's another thing called eye rot, which studies have begun linking Ozempic and Wegovy. God, to extreme vision impairment and even blindness. Dude, if you can't even look at yourself in the mirror and enjoy it, if I might go blind, I don't know if I want to roll those dice, dude, because I know I'd be that statistic. I have some buddies who are already on it, and they're all like, dude, it's great. Sure, I have stomach pain sometimes, but, and like, they seriously are like, they swear by it. But I know I'm gonna be one guy be like, oh, okay, I'll give it a try. And I wake up, the eye, like all the color of my eye gone, just, darkness. I'm in darkness. The injections have led to a condition that halts blood flow to nerves in your eye, known as non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy. Definitely said some of that wrong. What the f am I, Grey's Anatomy, dude? Whatever. Put it up on the screen and read it.
Non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy.
That's just what it leads to. Blood doesn't go to your eye, you go blind, right? I talk like a normal f***ing person. I can't imagine what doctors talk like in the hospitals. These made up f***ing words. Sounds like Horton Hears a Who. Similar cases began popping up all over, which pushed for further investigation to be done into this terrifying side effect. All the fat-ass police officers are just like, well, this is kind of cool, but can I go blind? Yeah, we gotta look into this, man. This is fucked. This is my favorite one, though, is Ozempic dreams. This is some real nightmare shit. As soon as you take Ozempic, you start having sleep paralysis. That's when the Hat Man visits you. That's when the Ozempic clowns by your bedside. Many people have reported having strange and vivid dreams while taking Ozempic, and some believe it is due to the gut hormone produced by the drug that has receptors on the brain, altering people's minds in their dream state. And this is a couple users' comments on it. They're pretty funny. The first dream I had, I caught my fiance cheating and stabbed him in his sleep. Then I woke up and I realized I wasn't dreaming at all. By the time I woke up, I felt like I hadn't slept because the dream was so vivid and long. I am fully under the impression that was someone confessing to a murder. Oh my God, yes! I've only been on it for 6 weeks and had nightmares more than I've ever had. I've just recently dreamed my ex-husband and my husband had both died of heart attacks. You becoming a fucking oracle. She has a death note. 40 seconds. They're gone. Isn't that right, Ryuk? That fucking Ryuk does look like an Ozempic patient, doesn't he?
During my second week, I started having really scary, vivid nightmares.
Same here. I'm awake since 5:20 a.m. Sames! Like being held hostage and killing my cats. Like what? These are all confessions 150%. I don't know, I'm beating my cats with spoons and hammers. Who else has been awake since 5:20 last week?
That's where the eye rot comes in.
Yeah, the eye rot comes in because they've been awake for 3 weeks straight and they don't blink. Their eyes like become literal dust balls in their head. Dude, I think the Ozempic made me blind. It's like, no, you had your eyes open for 14 days. I had a very vivid dream / nightmare on Ozempic. I considered quitting because of it. One was so dramatic. I literally woke up crying to the point that I was trembling. God damn. A couple times, I remember not even wanting to go back to sleep for the fear that I'd jump right back into the dream. Oddly enough, they just stopped. So this is a horror film waiting to happen. Weight loss drug and everyone's like going like some fucking weird psychosis or something. Also, if anything made me wake up into a full like sobbing, weeping fit, but then again, dude, I've been there. You feel so good in the moment, and then afterwards you feel like such shit again. You're just like looking at your waistline. You're just like, time to talk to the Ozempic clown again. And lastly, there's even claims of people that have taken the drug, resulted in self-harming thoughts or sexual dysfunction, and even hair loss. For some, taking drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy have had catastrophic effects to their lives. As more stories begin to come out, people have become much more wary to the supposed miracle drug. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I never understood that. What the does that mean? You can't bake a chocolate cake and eat it? Anyways, we're going to start with Ashley Keenan. She's a 37-year-old and began taking Ozempic in 2020 to keep her type 2 diabetes in check. So she's actually somebody who needs the drug. In as little as 2 months after taking it, she successfully lost 30 pounds. Over time, intense side effects started to creep in. She would feel heavy stomach pains and cramps. While the drug was intended for appetite suppression, she found that she had absolutely zero appetite for any food at all. It got to the point where she spent several days struggling to get a single bite of food down. Dude, that would fucking suck. Isn't there a disease out there where people are like, they struggle to drink water? It's like a phobia or something, isn't it?
It's water phobia, but that's rabies.
Oh, yeah.
Once you get that, there's nothing, you're dead.
While the drug was intended for appetite suppression, she found that she had absolutely zero appetite for any food at all. She turned down her husband's pleas to go to the doctor and only gave in after she was cut on a piece of glass after losing consciousness from malnutrition. When she arrived at the ER, she had been on Ozempic for only 4 months, and in that time, she contracted pancreatitis and diabetic gallstone and contracted super diabetes. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to say, Dave. Put up the
Diabetic ketoacidosis.
Well, this is a real teller for our education level here. And while in the ER, she spent a large part of the time uncontrollably vomiting, and she believed that she was going to die. ER doctors on the scene stated that they had to have all medical specialists on deck in order to save her life. And after fully recovering from the incident, Keenan had gained back all the weight she originally lost over the months. But she made a very foolish decision after this entire ordeal, uncontrollably vomiting, being on the verge of death, teams of doctors to keep you alive. She decided to go back on Ozempic to lose the weight. It worked once before. Her doctors assured her that they would monitor her much more closely this time, but she contracted pancreatitis once again after 2 months. Come on. Only then did she finally stop taking Ozempic, as it was simply not worth the intense health risks. Which you might say, well, that's just one instance. Well, I got another! Emily Wright! Back in 2018, Emily Wright was prescribed Ozempic to reduce her cravings and manage her type 2 diabetes. Much like Ashley, she had lost a ton of weight in just a short amount of time. In return, she also struggled with non-stop nausea and vomiting. She was diagnosed with cyclic vomiting syndrome, which is when your brain repeatedly tells your body to vomit without any discernible cause. Way to go, brain. She put up with it all for the sake of losing weight and curbing the cravings. After 2 years, she had lost over 80 pounds, but the side effects only worsened.
Jesus, 2 years of that?
2 years of vomiting forever. I mean, like, 80 pounds is a lot of weight. Over 2 years, though, I would assume it'd be more. Constant vomiting and stuff, I would assume it'd be more weight. She had to be hospitalized after she became severely dehydrated. At this time, the vomiting only became more frequent and aggressive. She contracted gastroparesis, a condition that halts the process of digestion and stops food from emptying out of the stomach. Because of this, the food she ingested had especially tough time leaving her system, fermenting in her stomach and giving her rotten, smelling burps. And to some people, they probably got super hard. Yeah, burp fetish people are like, let me in! In an article, she wrote detailing her experience. She explained that the frequency at which she was vomiting made her feel like she was going to explode. And at one point, she was vomiting for 36 hours uninterrupted. And here's a quote from her. I've done every test that has been imagined, and I continue to suffer. Some weeks I can vomit up to 200 times. Other days, I might only vomit 5 or 6 times. 200 times, also 36 hours straight. Wonder what other physical issues come from vomiting, besides like probably bloody throat, like your throat's completely slashed and dehydration, but
Your enamel on your teeth.
enamel on your teeth gone, probably. I'm so curious to see like your muscles contracting that much if it just every fucking muscle in my body feels like thrown. It was at this point that she left her job in order to focus on recovering. Her husband would reach out to Emily's friends in a panic, telling them, I think Emily's dying, and there's nothing I can do. She spent several periods throughout her 2 years on Ozempic being hospitalized for extreme symptoms. Her weight continued to drop from 280 pounds to a staggering 130 pounds. I mean, that would be a complete you would look like probably like a skeleton. The doctors believed that Ozempic was exacerbating her gastrointestinal issues and instructed her to get off the drug. After doing so, the symptoms just didn't seem to go away. As for her current condition, Emily states, and I quote, I'm on medication, which I will likely have to be on for the rest of my life to speed up the motility of my stomach, as well as daily nausea medication to combat vomiting. Ultimately, this helps me be able to stay out of the hospital. Not only this, she now needs to be administered IV fluids several times a week to battle her dehydration. She is still unable to return to work. Even recently, she vomits as much as 5 times a day to several hours, which is incredibly exhausting for her. According to her, she's lost 70 pounds from vomiting alone. How much of that is like blood, too? I mean, like, just every liquid in your fucking body. While things have improved for Emily over time, she is still seriously affected by the effects of Ozempic, stating, I used to believe that I'd be happier in a smaller body. This ordeal has taught me that weight loss has nothing to do with health. I was much healthier and happier before Ozempic. In many ways, I am grieving who I used to be. I don't know when or if I'll stop vomiting. I recently began tolerating smoothies and have gained 4 pounds back. That's brutal. Which I want to say this too, which the 2 that we've had so far, those are by far probably the most severe cases so far. Both of those people did have diabetes. It's weird because it seems counterintuitive because you would assume like, oh, the drug is for people with diabetes, but I don't know. And lastly, I wanted to bring up Juanita Gant. After taking Ozempic and Wegovy, Juanita Gant underwent a series of serious medical emergencies that led to her suing Novo Nordisk in 2023. Gant had been struggling to lose weight for quite some time. As diabetes ran in her family, she was fearful that she would go down the same health path as her parents. She was prescribed the weight loss drugs by her doctors in order to decrease their risk of diabetes. At first, she stated, I was feeling fine. I enjoyed the days that I didn't have to worry about my appetite. I didn't have cravings. I just felt like I was doing something positive for myself. But to her shock, things took a massive turn a few months later, when her husband found her collapse on the floor and she was taken to the ER by her husband. It turns out that her large intestine had died. Jesus Christ, what the Didn't know they could just crap on you like that. I thought it was just some tubes. Turns out that her large intestine had died and that she would need invasive surgery to get it removed as soon as possible. The surgery was ultimately a success, but things worsened from there. Gant's daughter, still distressed from the news of her mother's condition, received a phone call from the hospital. She was warned that while recovering from the surgery, her mother went into cardiac arrest and could possibly die. Good Lord, the emotional roller coaster there. Fast forward a year later, Gant now has to use an ostomy bag for the rest of her life in order to collect waste due to the removal of her colon. Juanita decided to sue Novo Nordisk for its improper warnings of the many serious risks involved with taking the drug. Novo Nordisk responded saying, quote, the allegations in the lawsuit are without merit. Some big corp type response shit. All I know is this: losing weight is always difficult. Sometimes it's hard to not want to put in the work, and you get tempted to see if there's just ways to skirt around it to have immediate results, right? We live in an age of immediate gratification. I want the results now. But that being said, you should never believe in the idea of some kind of miracle drug. Ever. I mean, there's positive cases. I'll never say that there aren't positive sides to it. I'm sure that I have viewers who take it and they probably have benefited it from well, but still, miracle drug is like a snake oil salesman kind of term. There's always pros and cons to things, and I just say, you know, you got to be careful. If you're on it and it's been positive for you, I say God bless, but at the same time, just do your research and make sure you ask your doctors if it's like something that is actually going to be beneficial to you versus just going on TikTok or some shit and being like, it, and, you know, buying it and stabbing yourself with Ozempic, right? We've talked about a lot of extreme cases, and I just want to reiterate that however you decide to lose weight is entirely up to you. It's your journey. You know, being a big boy myself, I understand the fucking pros and cons of it. I am not a person that thinks healthy at every size. I'm gonna throw that out there. Do I think people should be dogged and dragged through the streets? No, I think everybody should be treated like a human being, but I do think people need to take better care of themselves. Just look after yourself, right? Days are hard. Do things to proactively help yourself. In times of trying to lose weight, a lot of these times people get knocked down and then they feel like, well, I can never be that guy to lose weight. I can never be that woman to lose weight. Just pick yourself back up and always try again. There's always tomorrow. And also, a lot of these things, just start today. Don't set a time next week. Just start right now. Implement little changes that are better for you and take it at a speed that is good for you. Treat yourself right. Stay healthy. Try to stay healthy. I don't know. Chug a bottle of Jack Daniels. Or eat broccoli. Or eat pork with parasites and get a tapeworm. Just do the vitamin diet. Only eat pears. Pretty sure that's what Steve Jobs did. Look at him now. Pretty good. And then take Ozempic on top of all that. I don't know. All I know is Ozempic's a crazy thing. If you're one of the lucky people who get to take it and be Mr. Skinny or Mrs. Skinny, I say good on you. Just be careful out there. Check up on yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Oh, Ozempic, we know you didn't do that alone. Ozempic, it's